Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Mikkel Thorup, and this is the Expat Money Show. Today, we are going to do an episode talking about my most recent trips around the world, and I am joined by my co-host today, Marc Clair. Marc, please say hello to everyone.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back, Mikkel. It actually has been a while this time. We always joke that it hasn't been a while, but
yes, I was gone for about 5 weeks, and you were running the company, and everything went very, very smooth, and I was very, very happy about that. I got to take a little bit of time with my family, but in reality, I was still working because I was still meeting with bankers and lawyers and lots of meetings around the world and exploring new expat destinations. Now, Marc, before we get in to the episode, I just want to mention to everybody that we've got the Wealth, Freedom, and Passport Conference coming up March 6th and 7th, 2026, with actually an additional add-on optional day, which is March 5th. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to announce it right now, Marc. We're going to be doing the first ever Expat Money paddle tournament. It's going to be pretty awesome. So the backstory is I was with my colleague Fernando in Paraguay, and he said to me, hey, we've got a bit of extra time this day on the tour. Why don't we get a couple of people together and play paddle tennis? I was like, all right, sounds good. I love paddle. Paddle's good. And we expected, like we were kind of hoping actually we could get like 3 or 4 people together. Like if we could get a group of 4, that'd be amazing. We had like 30 people sign up on the tour out of 50 people. And I think the other like 20 people ended up coming as cheerleaders and supporting us and stuff like that. So we've decided that this is now going to be a thing. We're going to do this annually, assuming that this goes well. So people are going to come in a day early for the conference, and you secure your spot by when you purchase your ticket. You're going to have an option on there on the checkout, and you can sign up for the paddle tournament. Now, all of the details of how long and how this is going to work, we haven't figured that out yet. And that's okay because we've still got a couple of months here. We're going to figure all of this out. But just to put that on your radar, March 6th and 7th is the conference. We're going to do the tours, the birthday party, but the add-on day is March 5th. It's going to be amazing. I'm super pumped about it. Marc, are you practicing your paddle moves?
Well, I'm not going to lie and tell you I've been practicing. Yeah, it's funny. When you first mentioned this, I'm very ignorant. So I'll speak for the ignorant masses here. I actually thought you guys were talking about like ping pong or something like that. And I was like, well, I can play ping pong. Paddle tennis. So this is more like, just for people out there that might not be familiar with the term, this is more like tennis, but indoors or outdoors?
No, it can be outdoors. It's like tennis and racquetball had a baby, and that was paddle tennis. So, the walls, it's like a 2-sided racquetball or 2-sided squash kind of game. The walls are in play. So it bounces off the wall and then comes back.
Okay. Is that different from pickleball that all the kids are raving about nowadays?
Yes, because you move. In pickleball... Okay.
Well, I've played neither.
I'm going to go ahead and insult all of my clients who are fans of pickleball here. But I mean, pickleball is a little bit more stationary, where this one you are like running and diving, and it's a bit intense.
Okay. But as you mentioned, sometimes you just got to have an idea and then figure out the details later. And that applies so many ways in business. It applies to last year's conference. The first idea was, let's have a conference. Okay. Let's pick the dates. Okay. We'll figure the rest out later. And that's kind of what you got to do with new ideas. And we're happy that we get to have such a great community that comes down and shares in our first time doing these things. And let's just help us grow and help us make it better next time. So last year's conference was amazing. This year's conference is going to be even more incredible. And we'll see what happens with the paddle tennis. It should be fun.
Absolutely. I actually had a lot of people at the conference, March 2025, who thought that this had been going on for 10 years or something like that, because it was actually so well done. And I was like, thank you. We just put this together. Like, we had this idea.
You're like, wow, that was an accident.
Well, you got to keep pushing the envelope. You got to keep trying new things. And, both you and I have the same type of mindset. We want to serve people. We want to help people. And, I get bored just doing the same thing. So I always want to like try something new. And I got an idea at 2:00 in the morning, and I'm like, all right, let's try this. And, the team is all very good sports. They jump in and they don't get all butt hurt every time Mikkel changes the plan or modifies things or anything. It's like, no, this is a work in progress, and we bootstrap everything. So it's our money that we're putting on the line here. We're not taking investors' money to run, our events or a business or anything like that. Like, we try something, and if it works, amazing. And if it doesn't, it's okay. We just show up again tomorrow. We just dive in and we just keep going.
Yeah, and for so many years, our sort of flagship event has been the Expat Money Online Summit, and that really started in a time when I believe it was somewhere around the tricky era, the tricky years. Let's just call them the stabby wabby years, whatever you want to say. Things were getting weird, and people needed to find connections online, and it's still a great way that we can find new people and bring people into the community. But even when we started the summit, I started thinking to myself and saying to you, we really need to do this in person. And now, especially now, it's even more important than ever because with AI, with not even knowing what's real half the time, I'm pretty sure I'm talking to you, but until I'm shaking your hand in person, you don't really know sometimes. So it really is so valuable to get in front of people, shake their hands, and meet the people that are on the same journey as you. You realize you're not in this alone. You're not the only one that sees the world's problems. You're not the only one trying to figure out how to protect your family's future. There's a lot of people in this together, and we can all help each other. We're not just creating little plan Bs on the side. We're all doing it together and moving the needle together. So I'm really excited to do this again next year.
Yeah, absolutely. We had about 200 people in for last year's event. I think what we've set is 300, which I think is basically going to max out the room. So for 2026, it'll be 300. That's how much tickets we have. And if 2027, we might actually have to find a new venue because if we keep growing at this pace, we're just going to, they're not going to let us in. I'm sure like fire codes or something like this are going to prevent us from continuing to use the same venue. But actually on this note, we have tickets available right now, Mark. So we've got the general admission, which kind of gets you all of the presentations. And in the door, it's the conference itself, plus the tours the following day, and then my birthday party that night, which is open bar and live music. And I don't know, we haven't figured all of this out yet, but we always did something great. Last year,
I guarantee it will be interesting because it was very interesting last year. Yes, the mariachi was a surprise.
The mariachi band was amazing. I was so happy. And then the year before, we did fireworks and we had a rock band playing. And we did a white party, so everyone had like Panama hats and dressed in white. We were out on the beach and we had the flowers around our necks.
These are not casual affairs, people. These are serious events and really, really fun.
Super fun, super fun. We don't take ourselves too seriously, but it is a professional event, especially the conference. And actually on that
professional and fun, yes.
On that note, I want to see all the men in business suits. I want all the women in a women's business suit or a nice dress for the event. Let's try to look good for the photos. We bring in our professional photographers and videographers and everything like that. We're all going to look really nice. And then the following day, the tours, of course, wear shorts or whatever. But that night, once again, last year, the women were wearing gowns and everything. It was amazing. We had all the music and stuff like that. And it was so fun. And we were there. Some of the people were there. Oh my God, I heard the stories the next day. I was out of there at like 11 or 12, but I think some people were
I was to bed pretty early too, but I'm pretty sure there were some stragglers.
So if you guys actually want to join us for the Expat Money Wealth, Freedom, and Passport Conference happening 2026, go to expatmoney.com/conference. All the information will be there on that page. And you will see about joining for the paddle tournament, and you're going to be able to select your tour. We're even actually going to have a kids room this year, Mark, because every time I tell people that, we're family friendly, they're like, yeah, okay, sure, Mikkel. And then they got there and there was like Legos and drawing stuff, and we had the nannies there, and we had about 15, 20 kids last year. I want to see like 50 kids there this year. So that'll be amazing. So whatever age your child is at, they are invited. We want to see them. And even when we did the paddle tournament, we had 7-year-olds playing and we had 70-year-olds playing. So it was a complete mix. So it was pretty fun.
Very cool. All right, Mikkel, why don't we dive in to a little bit of your latest travels? Why don't you take me from the first minute? Where did you take off first to from Panama City on this journey?
Absolutely. So first of all, it was me, my wife, my eldest child, and my youngest child. So my eldest child is a girl. She is 9. And then we have a 6-month-old little girl baby. Okay. And this will become relevant later on in the stories. And then I was joined by the kid's godfather, who's one of my best friend, Patrick Hebert. And unfortunately, at the last minute, his wife could not join. We were going to do a family trip, all of us together, but at the very, very last second, she couldn't come. Unfortunately, there was a death in the family and she had to stay back. But we wish them well and our condolences to them. And then we went on the trip. So we flew direct Panama City to Istanbul, Turkey. It was a nice 14-hour flight, business class, flatbed, slept amazing. Pat somehow got stuck in economy class. I think he was late to buy his tickets. So I went back and visited him, and I think he was on the sleeping pills and passed out in his chair. But all
how
around,
nice of you to come down and at least see him from
we bought him presents, like they have those amenity packs and the slippers, and we got him some bottles of water and all these types of things. And my daughter was like running them back to him and stuff like that. So, so he was all
business
right.
class smugglers at such a young age.
Don't tell Star Alliance or Turkish Airways here. We got into Istanbul, and we actually have our new house in Istanbul. We bought 2-3 years ago, but we went back to brick on the property. And it's an amazing property. It was actually 2 apartments, but it was titled as one. So the previous owner had split them and rented them out separately. And they were like decent sized apartments, but I didn't need 2 apartments. I needed one big apartment because I got one big family. So we were rushing to get all of the renovations done. We've been at the renovations for probably 1.5 years or something like that, which, by the way, my neighbors, I think, want to kill me there because we've been making so much noise for so long. And we had to get permits and everything like that to be able to do the work. But anyways, unfortunately, the apartment was 95% ready, but not 100% ready, which means we didn't actually get to sleep there. So we were in an Airbnb around the corner, which was also owned by a fellow expat. And so we got a good price in there. But the new place is going to be unreal, Mark. And actually, I invited you and your wife and your son to go and stay there. And it is a real invitation because I would love you to take a look at the place.
Well, now I can commit on air now. We were definitely going to take you up on that.
And lots of pictures. You'll have to check everything, get some good pictures for me because you'll probably be the first one. Like I've seen it finished, but not like furnished. Let's put it that way. So you'll have to show me how
I'll be your guinea pig.
There we go. So it is a 5-bedroom penthouse in the most beautiful area of Istanbul. We've got 3 balconies. We overlook the Bosphorus, and there's like cafes and restaurants, walking distance, everything like there. And I'm just super stoked about the property. And I bought this mainly because every summer I do summer/fall. I do conferences and masterminds and I don't know, all kinds of stuff in Europe. And one year I tried it where I just went for 6 weeks by myself and my wife and all my kids stayed back in Panama. And I missed them too much. It was like a part of my heart was gone and I was just horrible. I was like, okay, I'm not doing that again. Then the following year I brought them with me and we were just traveling all over the place and it was better. We were together. And then, but I think we were just like trying to figure out our own transport and stuff. And then the following year, we rented a vehicle, a bus, and then we had our own driver, and he drove us around for 5 weeks, and we went through the Balkans and stuff like that. And then this year, which I'm going to get into the trip itself, we actually only took 2 of the kids and left 2 of the kids back home, which, once again, I missed the kids, but it wasn't as bad because at least I had my daughters. But next year, the plan, and this is going to be all future plans, is I'm going to bring the kids, bring my wife and everything, over, plop them in Istanbul, and then as I travel around and I need to do the different conferences, I just fly, do the conference, I'm gone for 3 days, I come back, then I wait a week or so, and then I do the next conference, and then I do the next conference. So I get to see them all the time, because I can't commute back and forth to Panama. Actually, I think one year I did. I think I flew 4 times or something, Istanbul, 14 hours, did something, then came back, and then did it like 3 or 4 times in 1 year, which was also ridiculous.
Grab lunch, go back on another 14-hour flight.
Yeah, I think we literally sometimes flew over for like 2 days and then came back. So
it's great to have a home base when you travel, especially if you're going to be traveling in a specific little region for, a few weeks or for a month or 2. It's great to just not have all your stuff with you all the time, have one place that's kind of central to everywhere and hop around. Turkey's a pretty good spot for that kind of thing.
Oh, it's the best. I mean, Istanbul is a city of 18 million people. Like, no matter what hour of the day, whatever you want to do, there are options there. And so what I kind of do, and I've done this for 25 years, I do the hub and spoke model. So I've got a base, and then from there I travel out and I visit all of the neighboring countries. And that has worked really, really well for me. I did it when I lived in Australia and I traveled to all the South Pacific countries. I did it when I lived in Singapore and I traveled to all the Southeast Asian countries. And when I lived in Abu Dhabi, I went to all of the neighboring GCC countries. I went to lots of places in Europe, and then I went to Africa because super, super convenient there. And now with Turkey, I've been going to the Balkans. I was going to the Caucasus. Next year, I'm going to be doing Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia. It's already set. We've got the dates and everything like that. So that's going to be an amazing one, but it's very easy to get to from Turkey, very difficult to get to from Panama. So I kind of do that. And then I do use Panama as a home base. You know, I was in Guyana recently where we did, I think that was the last episode we did together.
It was, yeah, which was quite some time ago.
I'm planning a trip to Venezuela at the moment. I want to get in there before, I don't know what Trump is going to do with his aircraft carriers and stuff. So I'm going to try to make it over and see some friends of mine before any of that
Just
happens.
don't take a small boat is what I'd recommend.
I'll fly. I promise. I'm actually going to go out to Margarita Island in Venezuela, which is supposed to be really, really beautiful.
They serve margaritas there, or is that just a marketing play?
I'll report back. I will report back.
Yes, please do. Yes. That's official company research.
There we go. So I was in Turkey with my family and with Pat for 4 days, checking out the property, going to the shop and just kind of giving feedback to the architects. So most of that was just focused on that. And then lots of food. We took Pat around and showed him lots of places and ate just a ridiculous amount of amazing food. I have to go on air. Turkish food is fantastic. I just love Turkish food so much. They're awesome. After that, we flew to Bishkek, which is the capital of Kyrgyzstan. And we were in Kyrgyzstan for just under a week. And we were meeting some friends and some colleagues and people there for a very small tour. And what a beautiful country. Like, what an absolutely stunning, beautiful country. I was so impressed.
So I will once again represent the everyman here. I don't know a lot about Kyrgyzstan. Tell me about Kyrgyzstan. What do they speak there? What do they eat there? What is it like? I know you said it's beautiful. A lot of places are beautiful, but what's up with this country? I know very little about it. I kind of know where it is. That's about it.
Okay. So it didn't make sense in my brain. You know, you kind of like got these buckets and you kind of sort places and people and cultures and histories. You kind of just sort them and you're like, okay, you're this type of a country, and you put it in a bucket. Kyrgyzstan did not fit any of these buckets. All right. I'll describe the country to you just at a very surface level. Okay. They have their own local language, but most people or a lot of people speak Russian. Okay. But if I think of Russian, I think of a very like sharp, very blunt type of language and very blunt type of people. I get along really well with Russians because I like direct. I don't like too, all over the place. But the Kyrgyzstan people were speaking Russian, but they were like very sweet. And the language was almost a little bit sing-songy.
Like soft Russian.
Soft Russian, okay? It's a soft Russian speaking country. But the people don't look Russian. They look Chinese or Mongolian. So they look like my wife, actually. Like when my wife was walking around, everyone was talking to her in Russian. Nobody realized that she was from China. They, like, in my Caucasian eyes, they look Chinese.
That is so interesting.
Sure I'm going to get some hate mail here from Kyrgyzstan people who go, we don't look Chinese, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize in advance. To my Caucasian eyes, they looked super Chinese or like a little bit Mongolian.
All I will say to that is, could someone from Kyrgyzstan tell me if you or I are from the US or Canada? That's all I'm going to say.
Well, there we go. Then you would think if it's like a Russian speaking country, maybe it would be like Orthodox, like a sect of like a Christianity or something like that. Nope. It's a Muslim country, but it's not Sharia law. It's civil law. It's a European law. They have Roman law there. So you've got what looks to be Chinese, in a capitalist country, by the way. It's not a communist country, in a capitalist country, who speak Russian, but very soft Russian, and it's Muslim, but it's a secular Muslim country. So there's no religion and the state and the government, and it's not Sharia law, it's civil law. And I was like,
quite a mix.
Like,
it's like they played Mr. Potato Head and made a country.
This is super fascinating. This is really, really interesting. And as I said, the country was beautiful. We were out hiking in the mountains, and these are mountains. Like, this is serious, serious mountains. It was green everywhere. There were trees everywhere. I also kind of thought that Central Asia I kind of had in my head deserts, but I know there are deserts in Central Asia, but not where we were, not at all. And very modern as well. Like, I didn't feel like I was in a developing country at all. Super, super modern. The roads were wide and clean. There was no graffiti, no garbage anywhere. The people, you would ask them for help, and they would be super happy to like assist you and point you in the right direction and all of these types of things. And it wasn't just me who was impressed with the country. Actually, everybody that I was with was just like blown away by how beautiful it was. And we had a tour guide for 2 days, and this girl was amazing. And my daughter just fell in love with her. So my 9-year-old just like held her hand and just walked around the city and hiking and everything for 2 days. And they just became BFF. And so we're talking to her, and she's like, yeah, I speak English because I studied in the US for a year when I was 15. I did like a home swap type of thing, like a cultural exchange. And then I speak the local language, and I speak Russian. Oh, I speak Turkish as well, because actually, that was another one, because people from Kyrgyzstan have Turk roots, not like it was like they have like Turkish roots. So they have some of the language in there, which I also didn't understand. And so we're talking about these things, and she's holding the baby. She got the baby under one arm. She's holding my arm, the arm of my daughter. They're taking us through the bazaar and stuff like that, and directing this group. And she's traveled. She's done all these things. And I was like, you're amazing. Like, how old are you? Like 19. I was like, wow, Christ. Like, I need to hire like 10 of you. Like, I'm going to start hiring Kyrgyzstani people, because this girl was unbelievable. So at the end of the couple of days, we're like, have you ever thought about being an au pair? And she's like, no, I haven't, but I would be interested in having that conversation. We're like, amazing. So on the bus one day, me and my wife just started brainstorming ideas and came up with it. And that's what we're doing. We're actually getting the visa for her right now, and we're bringing her to Panama to come and live with our family as an au pair, because she is one of the most impressive human beings I have met.
No way. Wow.
And she was 19. I was like,
wow,
crazy.
That is a really crazy story.
Yeah.
For her, I mean, it's going to be a great one for her someday, how she ended up in Panama or wherever she ends up from here. I mean, that's pretty amazing.
For sure. And her and my daughter have been emailing back and forth, and it's just been so awesome to watch. And then she messaged us the one day, and she's like, oh, by the way, while you were here, you didn't get to hear the local music. So therefore, I'm going to teach myself how to play the local instrument. I'm going to bring it over so I can play for you guys.
Because why not?
I was like, the initiative.
Because I don't have enough going on. Wow, that's amazing. Wow.
I was like, you are just.
She's going to learn a new instrument and style of music for you.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
So she's going to come over. We're hopefully like Q1 of 2026. She'll be moving in with our family. And then the deal I've made with her is that she only can speak Russian with the kids. So the kids will have full immersion Russian. So right now they speak English, Spanish, and Mandarin all at native level. They speak Portuguese. They've been taking Portuguese classes, and our tablets and TV and everything like that is in Portuguese, and the music in the house and everything is in Portuguese. But now they're going to get Russian as well in the house when they are with the au pair. So that should be
pretty cool.
So we were there in Bishkek and some of the surrounding areas and some of the towns and stuff for just under a week. We had some meetings with some banks and things like that. We're doing a little bit of research there. If it wasn't so far away, I would say this should be an expat destination. Now, I didn't get into the taxes. I didn't get into the immigration because I know you're going to ask me about that. It was just kind of initial scouting tour.
Oh,
But
no, you're way off, Mikkel. I was going to ask you about the food next.
oh, well, the food was fantastic, and cheap as chips. Oh my goodness. We were so because we had the kids and everyone else on the group did not have the kids. They were going out for dinner at like 8, 9 o'clock. And I'm like,
Uh-huh.
my
No,
kids did not make it till 9 o'clock dinner. So we're gonna go out at like 5:30 for dinner. And we found this national restaurant. And I think we went 3 days in a row and tried every single national dish that they had. And we would order everything, like a ridiculous amount of food that there's no way we could finish. And it was like $35 for me, my wife, and my daughter. Or we'd bring Pat and it'd be like $38 or something. It was insane, the prices. And it's so tasty. And we had like lamb and goat and like lots of things. We had horse while we were there. Very,
Oh my
very,
God, really? Wow.
yeah, horse steak.
I think I
like,
may have had horse once, but I don't want to talk about that because that wasn't intentional. But it's a whole nother story.
yeah,
And
so
it was good.
it was good. It was very good,
now.
very good. You know, usually the joke is like, oh, you ate Bambi. What's the famous horse? Like Black Beauty or something like that?
That is one of the famous horses. Yeah.
Yeah, or Spirit. My daughter always watched this cartoon Spirit, so I started telling her that we ate Spirit. Like, Daddy, you're just trying to make me mad. Like,
No, we
"Oh,
only
I
eat
can
the
make
bad
you laugh,
ones.
so."
Don't worry.
So Kyrgyzstan was amazing all around. Just loved it. Fantastic. Then we flew to Kazakhstan. We were in Astana, the capital of Kazakhstan. These were both new countries for me. It was pretty cool. When we flew into Kazakhstan, I went up to the immigration officer. I presented the passports and stuff like that. He's like, purpose of visit? I was like, tourism. And he just smiled like ear to ear. He's like, he was just so happy. He's like, amazing. Stamped us in because I
You're
guess
our
people do
first.
not come.
So they don't get a lot of tourists, I guess.
I guess not. He was pretty stoked. When we went into this capital, I mean, so modern, so clean, lots of traffic. I will say, like a ton of traffic, but not what I was expecting at all. So Kazakhstan, from my understanding, is like the most wealthy country in the region and is really like the powerhouse in this region. And there were people from everywhere there, like all the neighboring countries. We'd be talking to someone. I go to the sauna at the hotel and stuff like that, and you would be meeting people from Russia and from Kyrgyzstan and from Uzbekistan and all of these types of neighboring countries. I don't think they get like Canadians over there or Americans, but the locals, like that regional people travel there. But very, very nice country. Now, similar type of setup to Kyrgyzstan, which I described before, except forget about the softness that I mentioned. These people, I did not find them very soft at all.
It's the hard version of Kyrgyzstan almost.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe a little bit, I don't know. It was different. It was a different type of feel there. It was like,
Do they also speak Russian there?
yes. So, I think they have their own language and then they speak Russian. Because these are all former USSR countries. So I think that, you know, there was a lot of influence, obviously, during that. And, you know, forced use of the language and state-run education, blah, 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 blah. So, but beautiful, beautiful country. We did some shopping there. We also did hiking. We went to this lake about, I don't know, 2-hour drive away or something. And wow, it was unbelievable. I'll have to put up some of the photos from this on Instagram or something like that. If you guys aren't following us on Instagram, it's at Expat Money Show or on Instagram. And we'll try to put up some pictures from this trip. Definitely on X. I think we've got some stuff going on there. And that's at Thorup Mikkel. But a good trip, a good trip. Now, after, this is kind of what I was alluding to before. After this tour with my friends and colleagues there, we needed to fly to Qatar. And the problem was that, well, all right, I'm just going to say it. So when we bought our tickets for this trip, my youngest daughter was not yet born because we always plan things in advance. She wasn't born. So we had to add her to the tickets. So on Turkish Airways, we just called them and added her.
You can't buy a ticket for someone yet to be born. You can't say, well, there will be a human then, but they're not.
Exactly.
Not really
and
yet,
I had the name picked, but usually we go back and forth on the names, even like before. But you don't have the passport number. You don't have the ID number, anything like this. So Turkish Airlines, no problem. Then we flew with Astana Air, no problem. And then Qatar. Oh, Qatar Airways. So we tried before we left. We called them. They couldn't figure it out. We used WhatsApp. Couldn't figure it out. We tried on their website. We couldn't figure it out. So we're in Astana and we're about to fly to Doha. And I talked to my friends and some colleagues and stuff like that. And they're like, just go to the airport and they're going to be able to do it there and it'll be no problem. All right.
One would think.
One would think. We get there and it's a full flight. And they're like, no, we have no ticket office here. No ticket office. Only check-in for Qatar Airways. I'm like, well, what do we do? And they're like, well, there's a travel agent downstairs. Go downstairs and see the travel agent. We're like, okay, great. Take the escalator downstairs. I got the two kids, all the bags, etc. You know, we're flying business class over to Doha. They won't take the bags or anything like that. So we got everything with us. We go up to the gate. Woman doesn't really speak English, doesn't speak Chinese, doesn't speak Spanish, doesn't speak Korean, doesn't speak Portuguese or any of the languages.
We got a lot of languages available here, but none of them are connecting.
So Google our BFF, Google Translate comes to the rescue. And she's like, da, 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 da. No, can't find it. And she just puts her head down. And then she just starts going back and playing on her phone. We're like, we're standing
infuriating. I've been in situations like that at airports. It's the most infuriating thing on earth.
I was like, and so we're just standing there, like right up against this plexiglass thing.
You're waiting for her to do something, and she's not waiting to do anything, and just waiting for you to leave.
It's like 3 minutes, and we're like, "Are you checking?" She's like, "No, I told you I can't do anything." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, bye." And she doesn't even look up again. I was like, just a horrible person. And this is at 12:30 at night. Like we showed up and, you know, instead of normally you show up 2.5, 3 hours before, we showed up like 4 hours before. We've gone through this. Now we go to this one. And then we try to find another travel agent or someone who can help us. And we get this, like Ministry of Tourism info desk, blah, 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 at the airport. And so we explained the situation to him. He's like, okay, there's another travel agent. Let me go over. We try to talk to them. They're like even more rude, like just completely not helpful. And I'm like, you do know you're in a service industry, right? Like travel agents are service industry. Like we got a baby here. Like, please, you can't just try to help or like even just be a little bit nice and explain that you can't help and it's not within your control or anything like that. This is also why I say if this happened in Kyrgyzstan, I think would have been a totally different situation. But in Kazakhstan, they just were like, just cut you off. It's brutal. So half an hour, no, nothing. We go back upstairs. We try to talk. The guy closes down the info desk. He comes upstairs with us. He was super nice. He was bilingual. He's talking to the staff at Qatar Airways, who were useless, by the way, absolutely useless. And they're like, well, just call the hotline. I'm like, well, we tried that before. They're like, well, no, not that number, this number. I'm like, sorry for trying the number that is listed on the website. So she had some special number. But then, of course, our phones don't work. And she doesn't have like a phone that clients can use or anything like that or passengers can use. So we have to use the phone of the guy from the info desk. So, but it's an international call. So he puts like $2 on his phone plan. So we get into it with them. We finally get somebody and then we run out of credit. And we're like, how much did you put on? He's like, $2.
Oh my God.
And I was like, don't put $2. I'm like, here's like $50. Like, just put this on here. Like, are you sure? I'm like, just do it. Like, I don't care. Now it's like 2:00 in the morning, right after all of this. My baby is screaming. My 9-year-old has got the baby in the stroller going up and down the airport because my wife and I are trying to work through this. And it's kind of a 2-person job. So the 9-year-old's taking care of the 6-month-old. She's having a conniption because she wants to sleep. And
I can imagine. Yeah.
They're not good. So we're on the phone. We're like one finger in the other ear trying to block the screaming. We're trying to call. We get it. We do the whole thing again, call a second time. And they're like, da, 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 da. No, flight is full. Like, yeah, we understand the flight is full. We're not trying to buy a ticket. We're trying to put the baby on my wife's lap.
You
like,
see how this goes right here.
Yeah, like, they're like, no, the system will not allow us because the flight is full. I'm like, what are you talking about? This makes no logical sense. I don't need a seat. I just want to put the baby on my wife's lap. I just need a boarding pass that says seat NA, not applicable, right? Not applicable. We going around and around and around for half an hour. They're like, there's nothing we can do. I'm like, you're killing me. So they say, okay, well, we can move you to tomorrow's trip, and in that time, we'll figure it out. I'm like, okay, great, move us. They're like, great, that'll be like $2,800 to transfer you to tomorrow's flight. Oh, and by the way, you're getting downgraded from business class to economy class, and not just on this sector, but on your other sector in 4 days from now, which you're going to keep the original ticket from Doha to Prague. We're going to downgrade
on the same flight. They're going to downgrade you, not even a different flight.
Yeah. And I was like,
that's crazy. Wow.
What? Why? Oh, because we're going to have to put it all on the same level. So like J class instead of Y class, or no, Y class instead of J class. So economy instead of business. Tomorrow's one, we can't have you in business. So therefore, the whole thing has to be an economy class. So we're going to downgrade you. And no, you can't get a refund on that amount or anything like that. We've already spent thousands of dollars. You just call it maybe $4,000 for our tickets. Now they want another $2,800, and they're going to downgrade us. And all of this is happening, and the baby is screaming, and these travel agents and all of everything. And I was like, fuck you, refund me. I'm done. Qatar Airways, you suck. I'm out of here.
I hope that's a real quote.
No, that is like a legit. And
Qatar Airways, you suck.
I am never flying with you again. You are the worst airline in the world. Blah, 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 blah. So actually, I think that's how I ended it. And then they hung up on me at the end. So they're like, all right, we're going to refund you, but we're going to keep $148 per person. I was like, fine, do it. $148. And
that's your exit tax from Qatar Airways, I guess, right?
Yeah. So then we get the refund. This is 2 weeks later. We get the refund, and it's like $650. And I was like, what? Like, where's the rest of it? Oh, because you paid for this business class upgrade and that business class upgrade, and you changed your seats and everything. We're not going to refund you for any of that. We're only going to refund you for this amount, and then we're going to take off $148 or whatever it was. So I ended up getting like $650 or something like that on a $4,000 ticket. But it gets worse. So now we're at like 4:00 in the morning or something at this point, 3:30 in the morning, and we have to get a taxi back to the hotel. And we just went back to the hotel. We called them and we're like, hey, we checked out, but actually we have the room until tomorrow at noon. Can we come back? And they're like, yeah, sure, no problem. So we get in a taxi and we start driving down the highway. And the car, I think like the suspension is out, or the drivetrain, or the car is like going like this on the road, like weaving back and forth between the lanes. What the hell is going on with this vehicle? And then I look up in the rear view mirror. We're in the back seat. I look at the rear view mirror, and the driver is falling asleep. Okay. He is literally like, have you ever been like that where just suddenly your eyes,
yeah. Uh-huh.
And your head
That's when you realize, I shouldn't be driving.
Yeah. So I've got my kids in the car, my wife, we're all strapped in the back seat of this car, and we're flying down the highway at like 120 kilometers an hour. And the dude is legit falling asleep. So I'm trying to talk to him to keep him awake, but he doesn't speak English. So he starts pulling out Google Translate and typing in Russian, not even like a voice note, typing in Russian to show me the thing that, don't worry, you'll be fine. Everything is all right. And I was like, now you're driving and texting while sleeping down the highway. And I'm like, oh my God, we're all going to die. But at this point, I'm like, well, what do we do? Do I demand he pulls over to the side of the road and we try to get another one? But it's like 6 degrees out. It's like winter time. It's freezing. And I got the baby who's still not happy with the situation. He stopped crying, thank goodness, but we're still not out of the woods. So I'm like, as a responsible father, okay, I can pull over, we can get another vehicle. Like, that's the right thing to do. But what happens if we can't get another vehicle and we're stranded on the side of the road for the next hour or something like that? or mobile data doesn't work and I can't get connection, or a taxi doesn't drive by, or they don't take credit card, or, there's all these other things. So I'm just trying to like keep him awake, but not have him text to me and stuff. Anyways, we get back. So I write him this message on the thing. I was like, bro, you were falling asleep during the car. Please, for your own safety and for everyone else's safety, please go home and sleep. Like, it is not safe for you. And I showed it to him and he read it and he's like, yes, you're right. I'm sorry. I'm going home. I'm going to bed now. Like, please go to bed. So anyways, we get checked back in. Like I said, it's 4 something in the morning now. And we've got to get to Prague over the next 3 days. We have no flights. Our, $800 a night or $750 a night room in Doha, we're not going to be using that. That's gone. We stayed at this, Marriott, super nice one in Doha. That's gone. Like, well, what do we do? So we start looking up online and everything is full. Everything, every possible way that we can get to Prague for the Free Cities Conference, which I'll tell you about in a minute, is full. And we're trying, well, what if we fly back to Kyrgyzstan and Kyrgyzstan to Istanbul and Istanbul to Prague? No, full. What if we fly to Dubai? Well, we can fly to Dubai and we can do this, we can do that. All these things, everything's full. Eventually, we find the last, and I swear to God, the last couple of seats on Etihad Airways to Abu Dhabi, my old stomping ground. And no economy class, only business, last minute flight, flying out the next morning. So like actually not even the next morning. I guess it's that morning because it's so late. And it's like, I don't know, $8,000 or something like that for the tickets with an 8-hour layover at the airport. And so we had no choice. So we had to buy it. And I was like, so $650 back, the $4,000 for the original flight gone, hotels gone, this gone, that gone, now spending this. Like, holy moly, this just got out of hand real fast. And so that's what we did. The next day we went back to the airport. We got on, we flew business class. Etihad Airways was very nice. The airport was very nice. And we got to Prague 3 days early for the conference, or I guess at this point, 2 days early. Pat flew on to Qatar, to Doha without us. And so he had a little like walk around Doha by himself. My wife had used to live in Doha. She was going to be our travel agent. Yeah. He's like gone. So we ended up getting there and yeah, wild.
Wow. That is, I knew a lot of this, but there's still some of the details in there that I feel like I'm lived through a little of it with you, but man, it goes to show, we talk about, this show is about obviously not really just travel, but planting flags, seeing the world, expanding things. But the truth of the matter is, as great as that all is, there are always, just like in anything in life, there are always things that can happen, downsides, weird stuff that can happen, especially when it comes to travel, dealing with different airlines. And this is an extreme example of the kind of let's say foibles that can happen in travel.
It was brutal. And it's not like I'm not an experienced traveler. I'm an extremely experienced traveler. However,
that's probably why you're able to at least deal with it in some way.
Yes. Travel has gotten so uncomfortable. I think this is the point. Like it's all so complicated now. No one can figure this stuff out. Everybody, they all have their own systems and programs and rules, and you can't talk to people and you can't get a hold of them. And it's like automated this, and it's just travel agents don't even help you anymore. Like there's just so many problems. And I think what's going to happen is they are going to make travel so uncomfortable that the normal plebs just can't do it. And it will really only be reserved for the ultra wealthy. And they're going to blame it on carbon and, emissions and this and that. And I think they just hate people and they just don't want other people out there traveling. So I have already decided that I am not stopping traveling. So I'm just going to be ridiculously wealthy. And if I have to, I'm going to buy my own plane. That's where I'm at this point. Like I'm going to buy a jet. And actually, I'm going to do another episode with you in the future, and I want to tell you about the St. Kitts Legacy Mastermind. And this came up as a discussion on we need to buy our own jet because this is just getting ridiculous.
Yeah, no, it was a legitimate conversation. But I mean, you'll get into it when we talk about St. Kitts. But yeah, there was some not the easiest travel routes to get there necessarily.
For sure. So I got to Prague. I got to do my meetup the day before, which was super fun. And we had about 35 or 40 people show up for the meetup. So that was cool. Then we did the conference. I ended up getting sick from Pat. He had been sick a couple days before. And I don't know if people realized it, but at 2:40 on, I think it was the Friday of the conference, right when I was going on stage, my fever was at the highest. I was running a temperature and I had like the cold sweats. I actually don't even remember giving my presentation, Mark. Like I am sure I blacked out. I don't even remember what I said. It's recorded. So I said something. I was on stage for about 25 minutes. I have no idea.
You walk up on stage, it goes black, and you wake up to
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I had people coming up to me like everyone wanted
your
to
best speech ever, after. Sir. I've seen
like literally. They're like, that was amazing. All this stuff. I'm like, I have no idea what's going on. I had one of my clients there. He was plying with me with not drugs, but like natural, like osteopathic type of things. That was kind of helping a little bit. I was on antihistamines. I was on Tylenol. I was trying to take all these things and nasal decongestants and stuff. And I was just like a mess. But I am sure you look at me and I was just sweating like crazy. I was running a temperature and just horrible. But I made it through.
Well, this really goes to show that you really do mean it. You are a man of your word. You have a commitment to go speak at a certain time in a certain place. Gosh darn it, you're going to get there. But between trying to get new flights and blacking out maybe through a presentation because you're so sick, but you did it. So
I was super dedicated.
You're going to show up. If you ask Mikkel to be somewhere, he's showing up. All right.
That's right. I mean, I was the keynote speaker, one of two keynote speakers for the event. Most people had like 10 minutes and 25 minutes. There was advertising everywhere about coming and watching mine. It was a full house. I think there was 350, 400 people in the audience. And I don't know how many hundreds of people watching online. And I was like, I'm not letting these people down. I had clients fly in from Ireland, people drive in from Germany and from the UK and from all over. People came to, meet me and watch me speak. I'm like, I'm not letting these people down. Like, I'm just going to go for it. And I did. And then the following day I was doing a tiny bit better, but not like a whole heck of a lot better. I had an hour and a half podcast interview, in-person interview, and I had a panel discussion for an hour as well. So those were all fun things when you're, feverish and stuff. So
you remember those though, right?
Yes, those ones I do remember, but the actual presentation, me on, 400 people in the audience, I do not really remember it whatsoever. Now, what else can I tell you about the conference? Well, it's amazing. These guys do a fantastic job. My friend Peter organizes the Free Cities Conference every year. He's awesome. They're just a great group of people. I was there with Titus and Alex Voss and just like lots of people from our community and lots of people who have been on this podcast. And so I got to hang out with them. We went to all the VIP dinners and stuff. And we did the auction by my friend Mark Edge. We raised, I don't know, I'm going to guess over $60,000 for the Free Cities Foundation. Very, very good organization. I ended up buying a first edition book for $5,000 or something like that, which in reality is a donation to these guys because I'm super proud of what they do and I want to support them. So I got a first edition book on Sark, which is a part of the Channel Islands, which is like its own little fiefdom there for 500 years. So I got a first edition book talking about that. That was cool. And it was signed by the, not royal family, but like, let's say they have I can't remember the name of it. Basically like a duke or a baron of the island. They have a special name for it. And I'm
Lord,
sure
something like that. One of those.
Yeah, my friend Sven will scold me because I should know this, but I've forgotten it at the moment. But the whole conference was fantastic. My daughter, interestingly enough, was in the networking room the entire weekend, talking with people. and there was someone there who's plays chess and had his chessboard. So he ended up giving her like 2 days worth of chess lessons. And she already knew how to play chess and she liked it, but she spent like 2 full days playing chess and she just learned so much. And we liked the guy so much. He's a professional chess teacher that now he's doing 2-3 days a week chess lessons with her.
I'll have to remember that next time I'm in Panama. I'll have to challenge your daughter to a chess lesson, but maybe not. Now that I know she's taking pro lessons, but yeah, I'm a chess fan. But I would probably, I don't know. I'm not quite a professional yet. We'll see.
I am definitely not a chess professional, although I have probably played a couple of thousand games. I'm okay. I'm decent, but I'm not like someone who is tracking my score or anything like that. Like I'm not I don't do all of those things. But I'm pretty decent, and I had taught her how to play chess before. But this teacher is a top rated chess teacher, and I was talking to some other people that were there because I think it's a very popular sport in Czech Republic, and they were all like, "No, this guy is good. He's really really good, and he's amazing with my daughter." And I was just so impressed with him, and he's been emailing her puzzles and stuff like that, and then he's like, "Let's do a trial lesson." And then like 2.5 hours later, we're like, where's our daughter? Like it's dinner time. Like, where is she? Oh, she's still on her chess lesson. Like 2.5 hours later, it must be like midnight or something in Prague. And he's still online. He's like, your daughter is so good and she's got such a good attitude. And I'm so happy to be working with her. And she's going to be my best student ever. I was like, whoa, this is getting intense here. I don't know if she's going to dedicate her life to chess, but she is enjoying it a lot. So that was cool. But we did that trip to Prague, and then we went on to Slovakia, and we spent 3 days. We took the bullet train to Slovakia, and spent 3 days there, and went and visited castles and ate more good food, and I don't know, just had a good couple of days there before heading back. Slovakia, by the way, is also very very beautiful. It was my first time there. We went to Slovenia last year, which was stunning, and some other central European countries last year, but this was our first time in Slovakia, and it was very very nice as well. And but it was just a quick trip, couple of days, and then back to. We actually drove to Vienna, then which is only an hour or something like that. Oh, actually, one quick point: the drive from Slovakia to Vienna, they have wind turbines. I have never seen so many wind turbines. Thousands upon thousands upon thousands of these. And we're driving and it's midnight or 2 a.m. or something like that. And they have a little red light. And then basically the windmill turns and it cuts off the red light. So they're basically blinking. And you look out there and there's just thousands of red flashing lights everywhere. Just a sea of them. I have never seen anything like this in my life. And we have them in Ontario, we have them in other places, but not to this scale. It was crazy. And I'm not going to go on a huge rant, but these wind turbines are not green. Hate to burst anybody's bubble out there, but the mining of the materials for this and what you have to do with the blades afterwards and the whole process, like it is a scam. Like these things are.
Say we could do a whole nother probably 3-hour rant if we went down that rabbit hole. But yeah, I'm sure they look cool though.
It was a bizarre experience. It was very very trippy, and they're huge. They're just massive. So, anyways, got to Austria, to Vienna, then flew to Istanbul. 2-3 hours on ground there. Then Istanbul to Panama, and then I was in Panama for a whopping 15 hours. I dropped off my wife, changed my suitcases, the clothing and stuff like that, picked up Susan, and then got on a flight to Miami. And I think that's where we'll leave it. And then we'll pick up the story on the next
Why
episode.
Miami, Mikkel? Well, tune in next time or in a future episode to find out.
Yes. So we'll leave it there. But before we jump off, just a reminder to you guys, Wealth Freedom Passport Conference happening March 6th and 7th with an optional paddle tournament, Expat Money paddle tournament happening March 5th. Tickets are now on sale. Limited number of tickets, limited number of VIP tickets, limited number of general admission tickets. If you go to expatmoney.com/conference, all the information is there. Secure it now before they sell out. And I'm going to be there. Marc, you going to be there?
I think I will be there. I believe I have been rehired to MC the event. So yes, I will be there, and hopefully seeing many of you people listening right now from my perch on the stage. I'll hopefully be seeing you all in the audience.
You did a great job. Let me just go on record, everybody. Marc did an awesome job. I think the term MC was actually named after you.
It's my initials for a reason. So I think maybe this is always my calling.
There we go. Well, Marc, thank you very much for the episode, for the listening to my travel stories and trying to get babies on planes.
It was a little painful to live through some of those things with you, but it needed to be done. People needed to hear these stories.
And remember, everyone, Qatar Airways, useless.
Don't use them.
You don't use them.
This is an anti-advertisement. No one is paying us to do it.
I'm sure I'm going to get sued now, but I wrote a nasty.
You're allowed to tell real stories. That is, I think I'm pretty sure.
I wrote a nasty letter to them. I told them about my experience. They didn't even reply. Reply. I got a, hey, we got your inquiry kind of thing. Right. No response.
Your inquiry.
Yeah, like it was like, you guys are useless. Like, come on. And then you compare this to Turkish Airways, who are amazing, who I just love. Turkish Airways, Star Alliance, direct flights, fantastic product on the airplane, new, modern, best airport in the world. Turkish Airways, so helpful, always willing to help. Fantastic. Qatar Airways, you suck.
All right. This episode sponsored by Turkish Airways.
Thanks, Marc. Have a great rest of the day. I'll see you soon.
Have a great one.